Welcome to Soni Irabor Live. Tonight, we are featuring somebody that many of us would be very happy to associate with. The fact that he, in his very young age, he has achieved a lot. His name is Sijibomi Ogundele, and he's a billionaire. When you say that, some people will say, huh? Yeah, he is. And he's a very young man, too. But apart from that, he's a lawyer, he's an investment strategist, he's a real estate entrepreneur, he's a venture capitalist, and he speaks 5 languages. How has this mix contributed to this man's way of making him who he has become today? Let me throw that question to you as I say welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Irabor. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, you're one of the greatest journalists, and I call you journalist entrepreneur as well.
Okay.
Thank you. I think entrepreneurship, it's something you don't learn in school. It's something that either you have it or not. And a combination of being a lawyer and having that platform and speaking a couple of languages makes you a whole as an entrepreneur. For example, the law gives me a dynamic advantage when it comes to entrepreneurship, because you cannot just bring any document to me right now to append my signature on them. At the end of the day, entrepreneurship as well is about delegating.
Yes.
Making sure you give the right thing to the right people to achieve just one thing, result. And that's it. So I think...
Now, the Nigerian youth, how do you see him in this wise?
The Nigerian youth, it's very dynamic. But however, I think the Nigerian youth does not understand who he is still.
Okay.
And I'll say that because, first of all, we have a country of about 200 million people, where about 50-something million people are between the ages of 15 and 40. That tells you that this is one of the largest group in the world, youth in the world, the Nigerian youth. Nigeria has a huge potential. Nigeria is one of those countries where it's very difficult for, when you see the Lebanese man coming here or the Indian coming here, they didn't come because our shores are green or something. They came because they identified achievable opportunities. Okay. So what is blinding us as Nigerian youth from identifying those opportunities? The Nigerian youth must start learning and start remembering that they are responsible for their own destiny. Our Nigerian youth must understand the potential she has within herself. It is this opportunity that made me leave my experience living abroad and brought me back to Nigeria. It's because I was able to identify specific opportunities in the real estate sector, and I believe I could do better. And that was why I came here. So I want to encourage a lot of our Nigerian youths to start thinking from the mindset of ownership.
Okay, now you grew up from the streets of Agege. It's an interesting phenomenon.
That's true.
And you developed into that level where you knew where to draw the line and determine what you wanted. But what was the journey like? And for a young man?
Yes. I think it is only the grace of God that that will bring someone like me here. Nowhere in the world would my story would have been possible. And I also believe I won an ovarian lottery. I was born by this special woman who is an entrepreneur herself. My mother is a primary school dropout. She can read English and write. But she understands maths because she's a marketer. She grew from selling just a little sweet from the tray to becoming one of the top 5 distributors of Nestle.
Wow.
I grew up in Agege, but I was born in Okiari Market, which is not far from Balogun.
That's it.
In the market.
She was at work.
At work. Oh. But from the ages of 7 to 13, I was already an entrepreneur. I don't know if you've read it somewhere where at the age of 7, I fortunately or unfortunately bought an Okada just out of helping my brother's friend on our street in Okoba. From one Okada, my business grew into 6 Okadas before I became 13.
And you made sure they paid you?
Yes, they were paying me. My house became an Okada center. My father got so upset, he thought my entrepreneurial and business focus was deviating from my education. So he had to shut the business down. But that didn't shut the entrepreneurship in me. So from that age, and when I was 16, I left the shore of Nigeria at the age of 16. That's another story for another day. Wow. But then, since then, I'm 37 now. It has been 21 years of dedication, working hard, and being responsible for myself. I'm not an upcoming artist.
This is very inspiring because
Thank you, sir.
we've had so many people like you, but not many got to the level you have reached. Along the way, what other obstacles did you encounter? How did you break them?
When I see opportunities, I don't wait for opportunities to come to me. I visualize them and I go for them. It was very difficult growing up in the streets of Nice, but when opportunities come to one as a business, as an entrepreneur, what you need to do.
Nice is where now?
Nice is south of France.
France, okay.
South of France.
Yes. Okay.
I was 16 and I was living there. But it's another story for another
Yes,
day.
okay.
When you have passion for what you do, it keeps you going. Passion is the most important ingredient for success. Because without passion, it becomes very difficult to go through obstacles, because obstacles will come. Obstacles must come. But it's your passion, it is the fuel of passion that pushes you from where you are and keeps you going every day, every hour. For example, we had difficulties when we're trying to pull up our project, the Laurents by Sujimoto project.
Yes, we'll get
every
to that.
day,
Okay,
we had 365 days of challenges upon challenges. But it is the passion that kept us going, and it is that passion that made Sujimoto what it is today. So I think passion in front of obstacle, when you love what you do, it becomes very difficult to just let it go and just push it aside. But when you don't love what you do, it's extremely easy to just throw the wires.
Tell me about it before we dovetail into that structure that brought you back to Nigeria.
Tsujimoto was the name of a professor I met when I traveled to Japan.
Okay.
I was 21, Japanese name. So I was 21, I met this Professor Sujimoto Koga. And when I met him, and he was like, he was like, Watashiwa Sujimoto Koga. Anata nani? I'm like, I'm Suji. So yo, so it was very emotional and very, to have an African sharing the same name as him. Okay. So out of that excitement and almost a coincidence, he took love into me and he started helping me, developing me. Started developing me and started helping me in terms of, achieving, setting goals. He was like a life trainer to me.
So that's destiny at work.
Yeah, absolutely. So out of passion and out of admiration, I said, this man represents excellence, and I'll name my companies after him. So, and it's also very easy. My name is Sijibomi Ogundele, and from baby, they've been calling me Suji. So with Suji and Sujimoto just rhymes, and I think from the brand position, I thought it was a great idea.
It sounds interesting because when you hear it, you think it's a Japanese company.
Absolutely, sir.
And the first time I actually saw and heard the name, okay, Japan. So the Japanese are coming to Nigeria. So I saw you as a front for the Japanese. Oh, by the way.
Yes, yeah, I know, absolutely.
Well, how did you now deal with your ability to dream big and actualize that dream? From the way you're talking about it now, we can see you're filling in the loose ends. The story of Sujimoto himself is a very interesting one.
Absolutely.
But along that, yes.
When you negotiate the price of greatness, you settle for mediocrity.
Can you just repeat that for the benefit of those who are listening or watching us? When you negotiate
the price of greatness, then you settle for mediocrity. When you negotiate the price of quality, you settle for mediocrity. Wow. The process of dreaming big, it's an individual kind of decision. It's either you dream big or you dream small. There is no mistaken billionaire in the world. Yes, some people might acquire wealth through inheritance, but the true billionaires are those that acquire, sustain, and transfer. And when you look at
acquire, sustain, and transfer. Okay.
So if you don't have the mindset of achievement and winning, you can acquire $100 billion. you will lose it. Because your mindset is not within the principle and philosophy of that greatness. So I think my early exposure to books and readings, and I was very passionate about M.K. Abiola.
Yes.
So when I was like, I think at the age of 12 or 13, my uncle was his driver. So when I met M.K. Abiola shook my hand. He asked me, "Young man, what is your name?" And I told him my name is Ola Sijibomi. He looked at me and said, "Oluwa de Sijibomi." I believed it.
Amen.
I believed it. And I think that has helped me reshape my thinking. Can you imagine? I'm from the street of Agege, meeting M.K. Abiola in Ikeja. Agege and Ikeja is like, you know, from the ghetto to the suburbs. I was perplexed, but at the same time, I knew right there that I wanted to be like this man, or I wanted to have the luxury of eating. I was in the house, I saw a huge bowl of jollof rice. And they gave me a very big meal. And for me, jollof rice, we only eat jollof rice in parties. So for us to have, so, you know, those things, I think, made me create a great animosity for failure and for poverty. And it started gently breathing in me the mindset that you call the mindset of a billionaire, or the mindset of the will to achieve success. And I think that meeting really drove me and, you know, helped me.
You see that your chart of destiny is building up as you're telling this story.
Yes, sir.
From 7, now 21. I don't know how old you were when you met MKO.
I was 12.
12.
I was 12, 1993.
Oh, wow.
I think it was during the campaign. And
I
just
don't want to
recently,
do numerology, but I'm
Yes.
beginning to see something. Okay.
81, yes.
Right.
I was 12.
It's interesting because
was 13.
Sujimoto is one,
Yes, sir.
MK Abiola is another. Your date with Okada Destiny
Yes,
is
another one.
Very interesting, you know. And really, do you think that if you were today to look at the country as a nation that succeeds and has no failure in its radar or on its radar, what would you believe that Nigeria would be where it is today, where it has become now?
I was having a meeting in South Africa and with some investors and some friends of ours. And I told them that the first thing they must do is to give some accolades to Nigerians. And I asked them, can we take all of South Africans and bring them to Nigeria and take Nigeria to South Africans? For you to understand the Nigerian person's mindset. I told them the Nigerian man is not an ordinary man. Because your driver, the Molue driver, everybody is an entrepreneur in Nigeria.
Yes.
With all the infrastructural challenges, the educational challenges we've had, even out of those deficiencies, we're able to create the Adenugas, the Dangotes, and the Alakijas. How many Dangotes, Alakijas, and Adenugas would we have created if we had the great infrastructure, education, and the efficiency of healthcare? How many do you think we would have had?
Billions, maybe.
That's it. So we have not even reached 5% of the Nigerian project. The Nigerian project is a hope, hopefully for our generation or the next generation after us, because the potential is enormous. There is no businessman, international businessman, that is thinking about Africa and will leave Nigeria behind. So the opportunities and the potential of Nigeria in all sectors, if you are selling pure water, there's an opportunity in Nigeria. If you are selling clothes, there's an opportunity. If you enhance anything, you name the sector, there's an enormous opportunity in Nigeria. We just have to create a platform that allows them to strive better and drive efficiently, and also the leadership to push them.
I have this question I'm throwing back at you, sir. This billionaire mindset, you know, you hinted at it a moment ago. Do you believe in it?
The first step to success is to have the mindset, sir. You cannot have the mindset of poverty and expect success. The first step is the mindset. Of course, your environment might somehow influence your reality, but it's that mindset that allows you to develop, you know, the desire. And you know, you have health cautious, but I also call something success cautious.
Okay.
And it all aligns with the mindset of billionaire or success mindset. If if your mindset is all about success, for you to achieve failure becomes very, very difficult because your planning, your execution, your surrounding yourself with the right people becomes the priority. It becomes normal to you.
But you see, your words of encouragement, they inspire me. But what about where the structures are not in place to help these mindsets to nurture? What about systemic imbalances that you have around us today, where laws are not obeyed, where, you know, there's impunity in the way people express and exhibit all kinds of, you know, inadequacies?
You're right, sir. But it is that mindset and it is that drive that will drive you. It is the same mindset that drove MK Abiola from Abeokuta and today is not only iconic, but is Christ-like. So I think excuses and missed opportunities are okay but when you have a mindset of achievement and winning, you move from wherever you are. You move like a David from wherever you are to where you believe your destiny is leading you, and you'll get there. It is that same mindset that directed Lasana Dantata, who is the grandfather of Dangote. It's a mindset thing. And I think it's the same mindset that brought me from the street of Agege. And today, I would never have believed that I could come from Agege and come to Ikoyi and start building. When I was, I think, 10 years old, I used to leave Agege to come to Ikoyi Polo Club. Okay. I'll sit down on the fences and watch. I knew that immediately I crossed the bridge, there was a dynamic difference between the mainland and the island. Yeah. And I wanted a part of it. I could have given excuses that, oh, we didn't sleep with light yesterday, or the educational system.
All over the place.
I could have given excuses. But I think it's also the grace of God that gave me that courage and that determination. And I knew that I could change the narratives of my destiny. And that was what pushed me. So I think people would have different excuses, but excuses are not enough.
Your Lorenzo project.
Yes, sir. Very
Very interesting one. The plan is to build the tallest residential apartment in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes.
In this country where light not they work well. Sorry, I have to speak pidgin
Absolutely.
English. Let's get down to
I know.
Yeah, doesn't that, did you put all those into
consideration?
Yes. How does that work?
The philosophy of Sujimoto is entangled around diligence, our capacity to do better than what we did yesterday. So I looked at the whole of Lagos and its landscape, and we realized that a lot of money went out of Nigeria investing into other countries. But we told ourselves that how can we set new standards and achieve new things? So we said, okay, we want to do something that's never been done before. We want to build the tallest residential building in Lagos and the first fully automated building in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa.
First fully automated?
Fully automated building in the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa, where you have a building management system that allows you to control your apartment from the touch of your phone. Where there is almost zero security deficiency. Where you can open your curtains, switch on your TV, switch on your AC from a touch of a button. Where so we wanted to do something that's never been done before. We dreamed big, and my meeting with Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum, who is the ruler of Dubai, also pushed my ambition beyond.
That far as well.
Yeah, I mean, I met the Sheikh, I think it was like 3 years ago. And the meeting with him developed another level of confidence. If my confidence level was here, meeting the chef shot it up the roof. Because he made me dream big. He asked me, the building you want to build, how tall is it? I said, it's going to be, it was because the original plan was 15 floors. It's okay. He said, how high can you go in that area? I said, you can go 27 floors. He said, but then why are you building 15 floors? I said, okay, sir. Then he started asking questions. But that little time I spent with him changed the whole of the Lorenzo project. We started thinking big, and we're not ready to do anything that was in any way mediocre. Of course, the project is on hold right now, but we realize that a lot of developers that we look at as big brothers, they've looked at our project and also replicating it in different places. That tells us that maybe we are doing something right. Then we would revisit it, redesign it, and I can guarantee you that we will set serious record, not only in Nigeria, but in the whole world. That is our mission.
Okay, now, real estate in Nigeria is vibrant.
Yes.
Very vibrant. I know. How can an average Nigerian get the luxury of a normal, strategic lifestyle that will not hurt
her? It boils back again to what we've been discussing.
Okay.
And when you look at the Nigerian society, for example, if you want to build a kitchen in Nigeria, you must have your own money.
Yes.
A kitchen. Not even a villa, a kitchen. Not about a bungalow. So you realize that a lot of landlords and investors in Nigeria, they spend a lot of money in the process of construction, and they want an immediate return on investment. Unlike somewhere like France or the United States of America, where there's a strategic intention to create capital that assists developers to shoot up projects.
Okay.
At a one-digit rate. For example, I'll give you a $10 million example. You approach a bank in New York City. $10 million, I have a great project. You've done your research, you've done your due diligence, you submit your project to the bank. The bank creates a credit facility for you of between 4 to 6%. They give you 30 years, they launch you a 30 years payment plan, where every month you have a return, you have to service the mortgage.
Hello?
30 years in 10 million.
Okay, we got a call. Hello. Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. My name is Laurents.
Okay.
I just want to thank God for the life of that man. But my question is this so easy like that? At the age of 7, for somebody to plan so high like that? I have to graduate in a house. Up till now, there is no job. No job. And I work as a civil servant. But how will I go about it? So his life history is so challenging. It gave me courage, but where is the money to do all these things? So that's the question I want to ask, sir.
Thank you. He will answer you. Okay.
Thank you so much, madam. I didn't get her name.
Yeah.
Florence, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much. And I greet you very well and your 2 graduates. I wish you the best. You've done a great job as a mother. My mother was a primary school graduate. I mean, primary school dropout.
Dropout, you said, yes.
Primary school, sir, not secondary school. But out of sheer determination, she moved from Ijebu to Ibadan, from Ibadan to Cameroon, and from Cameroon back to Ibadan and in Lagos. She started her business. She knew the discipline of money spending. So she understands, I think this is a Jewish law, the Jewish law of compounding. So my mother will buy a crate. She will buy a small tray of things. She'll put them together. She'll sell them. From there, she'll buy another one. The business started getting bigger.
So ripple effect.
Ripple effect,
Growing.
the compound. And until one day, somebody introduced her to Cadbury. She became a distributor for Cadbury. Cadbury said they couldn't give her being a distributor because she does not understand the market. She said, no, give it to me. I'll take the challenge. They gave it to her. She was doing very well. Then Cadbury took a risk on her. You know that there's a philosophy that without education, success is very difficult. Cadbury took a challenge and took a risk on my mother and said, you know what, we'll take a risk on you. They gave her products on credit. They gave her 1 month to sell a product. Normal people would have sold it in 3 months. My mother sold them in 14 days.
Oh, wow.
She sold them, came back to Cadbury. Immediately Cadbury came back to Nestle. Nestle gave her a distributor. She gave her a permit to distribute. Today, she's one of the top 5 distributors for Nestle all over Nigeria with a huge, I don't know, the gross return or something. So there's something we kept talking about determination. You have to understand that knowing the determination to move from where you are to where you want to be,
Yeah.
it's extremely essential in the progress of success, in the process of success. And I understand a lot of Nigerian families, but right around you, there are opportunities.
So the lady that called just now, 2 graduates, she's still worrying about them. What do you advise those graduates to try to do?
I think they must take the bull by the horn. Their mother has spent 20 years of her life spending, worrying, and catering for their education. They are responsible now to go in the street and become competent and look for jobs.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Good
Your
evening.
name and
sir.
place of call.
Yes, my name is Otumba from Ado-Ekiti.
Okay.
This is a very nice show this evening,
Thank
and
you.
I'm really enjoying the young man you brought to the show.
Thank you.
But with the situation in which we find ourselves these days in this country, Nigeria, is it possible for young men to attain such greatness? If you think about how youth and young people struggle to attain greatness in this country, but this is very great and it is encouraging, and I think we want more of this on your program, Uncle Soni.
Thank you.
I really enjoy the show. My children are with me here, and we are enjoying the show, and it's a nice one. Good evening.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
I started, as I said I wasn't an upcoming artist.
in fact, when you said that, I was a bit scared. I said, okay, where's he coming from? Okay.
I'm not an upcoming artist. I'm 37 years old. At the age of 16, I started paying my own house rent.
True.
It was as simple as that. As I said, there are opportunities in Nigeria. I travel to China a lot. And when you see the vibrancy in the society, and when you look at a young lady who is 22, 23 years old, she's controlling businesses worth millions of dollars. And she has it on her hand. And if I wasn't doing real estate, I can name 10 different businesses
They could have been doing.
I could have been doing. But because I believe in the power of focus, I don't want to be that pure water. I don't want to be that pure water seller that has heard that my friend is selling guguru and ekpa. Then I want to go and start selling guguru and ekpa.
Okay. Good
So, you
evening.
know.
How are you? Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine.
Name and place of call.
No, someone to Lagos State.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Sule.
Surely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Ask your question.
Okay, yeah, I have met Mr. Sijibomi personally, and if you don't meet him, you won't understand how passionate and how driven he is. I met him just once, and he was explosive, and everything he says, I believe is capable of it because he's so driven and so young, and I look up to him a lot.
Thank
Just
you.
that one time I met him, he has the effect meeting Abiola had on him, on me already. I look up to him so much, and I think everything you put your mind to is very achievable.
Absolutely.
So I don't have any questions, I just have encouragement for him.
Thank you, also. Thank you, also.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you,
Thank
Nonso.
you. Well, that's a testimonial.
Thank you, Nonso,
authenticating what you're saying.
Yes.
Again, Nigerian youths, I love them. In fact, no matter how critical we may be of most of them, sometimes I'm worried that it is probably what they are seeing that is wrong. Well, let's look at the school system and how it develops the average youth. Do you think our educational system is good enough? Does it need to now move to the next level of practical acquisition of knowledge?
Yes. I think we have great talents when it comes to our professors and our teachers. But I think that we need, if you're a doctor and you don't retrain and redevelop yourself, you went to medical school 20 years ago. What courses have you done to make sure you are in par with international standards?
Because the world is global now.
Global. So I think there is always room for improvement. Innovation is about looking at what we did yesterday and how can we make it better tomorrow. So when we look at our educational system, the question there is, are we better than our neighbors? Is our educational system better than that of Kenya? Or is our educational system better than that of South Africa? How are we developing our true capital, which is the Nigerian people? That is a major question. How much do we invest in the lives of our young brothers and sisters? So that question, I think, I'm sure the leadership and the government will look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Yes.
I'm fine. I'm
Good.
fine.
Yeah.
My name is Ola.
Okay. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Anambra State.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Like the previous caller said, I've actually met Sijibomi in person. And I must commend what he's doing in the real estate business because I am also in the real estate business. Now, one challenge that is in the industry is the issue of property maintenance and management.
Oh, very
and
important.
I can commend him for most of his projects, virtually all his projects that I know of. They always have a very good vision in the maintenance of those projects.
Thank you.
We've seen buildings that come up outside this country. This building lasts for 50, 70, even 100 years. While we have buildings in this country that don't even last for 10 years. So I must commend him for the wonderful thing he's doing.
Thank you so much.
My question to him is this. There are a lot of young individuals in this real estate management business, but they don't have, like you said, if you are not an entrepreneur, if you don't have it, you cannot be it. But they have the knowledge to also do greater things here. What is his plan in carrying them along to ensure that, yes, this very big problem of building lacking maintenance in this country is put to an end?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, you heard the question.
Yes, the question about carrying your. Thank you so much for your testimonial, and I'm really grateful about that. I think it's very important to note that. Carrying entrepreneurs along and carrying our young people along and young entrepreneurs and people that inspire want to be an entrepreneur. One of the things, I think it's part of the strategy of Sujimoto is to develop a CSR kind of department, and it now becomes, because I know where I'm from, it becomes an obligation for me to make sure that I'm able to give back to the society. And we do, like, I have a mentee here, which is Bidakpo. We've done a couple of programs that will invite people, will listen to their ideas, and you'll be surprised with the type of talent we have in this nation. People that have great ideas,
Okay, now, I want you to give a message for, I'm happy, 37, and your story is really powerful inspiration for me and any of the youth out there. I'm a youth, so believe me. I'm a youth, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm a youth at 66, don't worry. But
Wow.
Tell me, what should the youth look out for? How can he not give up? What should he do not to give up in the face of all kinds of discouraging situations?
I think the youth of Nigeria, we must understand that there's no nobility in poverty. There is no nobility in poverty. We have to know that our destiny, we must hold our own destiny into our own hands and not in the hand of the government. We must look around us and find opportunities all around us and focus. I think the quick fix, quick reach, it is not sustainable. We must owe ourselves responsibilities to become the light of our families, where our mothers will point and say, that is my son and that is my daughter. I don't know, even if you have a plan B, someone like me, I don't have a plan B. I don't have a rich uncle or a powerful auntie. But even if you have a plan B, it is all about acquisition. How do you sustain it and how do you multiply it? So we must start taking responsibilities and start doing things right, knowing that credibility is the only currency.
Oh my God, time is so tight. I'm going to beg for a longer time next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Really,
Thanks
really.
so much.
The fact that you could even find time to come, that was a big win for us.
It's for you.
Thank you again. God bless you. Next week is another date. Bye-bye now.